What is going on, guys? So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about what my favorite lens is for vlogging. It's right here. Let's get right into it. Whew. Alright, so I don't know about you guys, but in Ohio right now, it is cold out. It is now the time of year where it has gotten really cold, so hopefully you guys are staying warm. Holiday times when I'm filming this right now, so hopefully you guys will be able to spend some time with some loved ones and everything like that. So I know I've been eating plenty. You know, we got that winter bulk going on, so no. But anyways, so before I talk to you guys about what the actual lens is, I figure I should give a little bit of background on myself. So if you are a first-time viewer on this channel, first of all, thank you for checking it out. If you enjoy the content, consider hitting that thumbs up and subscribing. Just to give a little bit of background on myself, my name is Johnny. I do video and photo work for a living. I've been in this profession for almost like 10 years now. It's kind of hard to believe already, but yeah, I have a lot of experience from a wide variety of things. So at this point in my career, I know equipment pretty well. I know what I like using. I know what to suggest for other people. And on this channel, I try to create some interesting vlogs, some reviews, tips and tricks videos, and then also talk a little bit about equipment and things like that. So about a year ago, I decided it was time for me to start making some content for myself again. I got away from making anything for myself, and it was just honestly time to get back into it. When it came time to me to actually purchase some equipment, I wanted to get one lens that would cover a lot of things that I do. I wanted a lens that would be able to obviously film myself. I think wide angle lenses work really well for vlogs if you're walking around. It's nice to be able to see what I'm doing, the environment I'm in, everything like that. Different things with products. I want to be able to shoot some good B-roll. I want to be able to punch in, get some details. I want to be able to get wide shots of landscapes, different rooms, different environments. And also I want a lens that's good for photos as well. So, you know, whether I want to be able to take some portrait photos, product photos, maybe just some landscape photos. I really wanted to get one lens that was going to be able to cover a lot of things. Have you guys guessed what it is yet? Go ahead and guess in the comments below. Guess what the lens is. It is my favorite lens, I will say that. It is the Canon 16-35. Right now, currently, I am shooting Canon. So if you are not a Canon user, that's totally okay. We're just mainly talking about focal lengths here. Even if you aren't shooting Canon, Sony as well as a bunch of other manufacturers are going to have a 16-35 or something pretty similar to that. Basically, I think it's just a nice variety between that wide angle and still being able to punch into 35 and do some of those tighter things that I was talking about. So I've been using this lens now for a while. I absolutely love it. Canon has 3 versions of the 16-35 right now. And again, even if you aren't shooting Canon, most manufacturers have different tiers of their cameras with a couple of depending variations that will change the price point and why they are like that. We're just gonna call it a lower tier, a mid tier, and then a higher tier for sake of this video. And that's based off of the price point. So this lens right here, the one that I personally own, is actually the lower tier one. So this is the 16-35. It is an f4, but it's image stabilized. So for those of you who might not know what all that means, I'm gonna break that down. So if you guys don't know what those things mean, basically the aperture is that f4 number. That is how much light the lens lets into the camera sensor. The lower that number, the more light that allows in. You can get a shallower depth of field. You can create that bokeh in the background to get that blurred out background, everything like that. So usually the lower that number is, the more expensive that lens becomes. So the f4 is not the fastest or the lowest number aperture that you can get on a lens, but it's still at a pretty good spot. And this lens is still an L series lens, so any of the Canon lenses that you guys see with this red stripe means it's the L series. That's basically like the top of the line lens that they manufacture. So this is still a good lens, even if it's an f4. So just because it's an f4, don't write it completely off yet, okay? The main selling factor of this lens to me, here, let me set this down before I do something. The biggest selling factor for me on that lens is that it's image stabilized. So if you look right here, there's a little image stabilized button right there. So basically what that does is it takes out some of that natural camera shake when you're holding your camera. So obviously if you're using your camera to vlog or doing a lot of handheld things, it just helps take out some of that natural camera shake that you guys see. And honestly, we can all use a little bit of help when it comes to that. So something to look out for when you're buying your setup, whatever it is for making videos or photos, whatever it is. Sometimes you can get a camera body that has in-body stabilization. That's a very similar thing, but it's for the camera body. Some lenses offer this, the image stabilized, but not every lens does. So if you can get a setup that has that feature on both of them, that's a huge win, but you can't always do that. So I would say if you can, try to get one or the other to have that stabilization, because it is going to help you. It's just going to make things look a little bit better, a little bit less shake, a little less shaky. We all know, we've watched that video where someone's just like, you know, they got the shakes when you're trying to watch it and you look like you're like going through a haunted house or something. But so this lens comes in at $1,000. Honestly, for an L series lens, that's a great price. Cameras and especially lenses can get very, very expensive. So if you think that is very expensive, it is. Just know that in the grand scheme of lenses and camera gear, that's a pretty good price for what you're getting. So the lower tier lens, it's $1,000, but it's that 16-35, that's an f4. But the big selling factor to me is it's image stabilized. The mid-level, medium level, whatever you want to call it, is going to be the 16-35, and it's a 2.8. So just how we were talking about that aperture, it's going to allow that 2.8, but it is not image stabilized. So for me, it wasn't worth it because it comes in at a price right now at around $2,000, and this is all US. So it comes in at around $2,000, and so we're talking double the price to get that aperture down to f2.8. But you're not getting image stabilized. So some people, that's a trade-off for them. Honestly, I wasn't ready to double the price of this just for that. And then talking about the top tier one that Canon actually just came out with recently, it's actually an R-mount lens. So it's for the new mirrorless cameras that Canon's putting out, and it seems like they're putting a lot of money behind it, which is awesome. I actually have one. I use the Canon EOS R. If you guys are interested in a video on that, let me know in the comments below. So the top tier lens that I'm talking about here is, it's actually a 15-35. It is a 2.8 and it's image stabilized. So as far as a wide angle lens goes, that's pretty unheard of to have all of that. To have that kind of an aperture and still be image stabilized is it's wild, honestly. So that's actually like kind of like the god tier, the best lens you can get right now, in my opinion. But to get all those features, you're going to pay a premium. So right now when I'm making this video, that lens is gonna be $2,300, and that's before tax and shipping and all that kind of stuff. So that lens is awesome. It's actually a beautiful, beautiful lens, but you are paying such a high price for it. So depending on your situation, everything like that, you definitely wanna weigh those options, but that's just something to keep in mind. This 16-35 f4, this is the best option for me because that price difference, I just can't currently make a $1,300 jump just to get that f2.8. For me right now, I'd rather invest in other types of equipment. I'm purchasing a new light here soon. Yeah, I mean, you could buy a MacBook Pro with that price difference. So small little disclaimer here on this video. Everyone's gonna have different opinions on gear, especially camera gear. I think because it's such an expensive purchase, people take it very personally. It's a very opinionated subject, and that's totally okay. It's always interesting to hear what other people like to use. And this, just with my experience and what I like to use, this in my opinion is the best lens for vlogging and content creating. So yeah, anyways, for those of you who are looking to step up your content creating game, this is an amazing lens. It is still expensive, it is an investment, but I'm telling you, if you're looking for a lens that can do a lot of different things, this is definitely it. I can't recommend this enough. And again, even if you guys aren't shooting Canon, other manufacturers have different tiers of lenses, usually with the price difference depending on those couple things, the aperture and also if they're image stabilized, so be sure to be on the lookout for that. I know for a fact other manufacturers have different tiers similar to that. So yeah, just be on the lookout for that. So like I said earlier, I wanted a lens that would be able to do a lot of different things. And honestly, this is really the only lens that I've been using about 99% of the time for the past 6 months. It's perfect for filming myself, it's perfect for filming others, doing things with products. I love it for photography, product photos, landscape, portraits, you name it, I love this lens. And also something to keep in mind in this day and age, so many times you have to shoot things vertical, that a wide angle lens actually really helps with that. So if you have to flip your camera on its side and you're shooting things for stuff like, let's say, Instagram stories, or dare I say even things like TikTok. Yes, there's TikTok. Yes, I have a TikTok. Add me on TikTok. No, but for real, just with how much content people are consuming on their phones these days, vertical video, photos is just becoming more and more the norm. So if you have a wide angle lens and you flip that camera sideways, it's going to be a lot easier to get the full length of somebody's body in the shot, the full length of a product, whatever it might be. It takes up more real estate on the screen. You're going to get a higher resolution than cropping in, let's say, this video right here. Vertical video, a wide angle lens just works awesome. So that's just kind of something else to keep in mind. So if you guys have any other questions, please let me know in the comments below. Also, one more thing, if you would do this for me, you know, like I said before, this is my favorite lens. Let me know in the comments below what your guys' favorite lens is and why. It's always interesting for me to hear what other people like shooting and how they shoot it. So let me know in the comments below what your favorite lens is, and I'll be sure to get down there and respond to everybody. I'm planning on doing a review on the camera here soon, maybe some other things. Like I said, I'm getting a new light here soon. All right guys, so I'm gonna wrap it up here. That is my favorite lens for vlogging. Hopefully you guys were able to take something away from this video. I absolutely love this lens. I use it for pretty much everything that I'm making these days. Eventually I want to add in another lens at a longer focal length. I'll talk about that here in a future video, but yeah, for anyone who's trying to up their content creation game, whether it be for vlogging, for taking photos, you want something that can do a lot of different things, this is definitely a lens that I recommend. So like I said, links will be in the description below for everything I talked about. And thank you guys just for all the support on all these videos. I have some cool videos planned. I'm trying to intermix some entertaining vlogs along with some reviews, equipment talk, tips and tricks of just things I've learned over the years. So hopefully you guys are getting some value out of these videos. With all that being said, if you guys enjoyed this video, smash that thumbs up button. If you're new around here, consider subscribing. I'd love to have you, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace, guys. Okay, damn, all right, the shadow's a little weird, you know what? We're just gonna make it work. We're just gonna make it work. How we look? How do we look?